Hello and welcome here to this live stream. This is the first time that I am doing a live stream here on YouTube. So thank you for watching. I'm gonna start right away. Today, the FAA announced that remote ID was ready. They announced that they sent the copy to the Federal Register to finish up the process to make it official. So, sometime during January, it's going to be published by the Federal Register, and the remote ID is going to be um, under 14 CFR a part 89. It's a new part that the FAA that the Federal Register will create. It's going to be a new set of rules for remote ID. So this is a long-awaited um, rulemaking by the FAA. Also, the FAA issue other two new rulings. One is on night flight, and the other one is on um, flying over people. But first, I'm gonna talk about remote ID, and this one, um, we had a few surprises. Now we don't need to have that network requirement, but we'll still need to have broadcast. And well, the problem for us that are going to be flying drones is still going to be that people will be able to pinpoint our location when we are flying. So how that's going to play out in the future, well, we don't know. But still, I'm still concerned about safety of myself and my equipment when I go to do a shooting, a a video shoot with my drone. So let's see how that's gonna play out. But same concerns that were before we started with the initial something that we the initial concerns about the location of a person when doing um, a when flying a drone will still have those concerns. It's like these are some privacy issues. But going to the remote ID proposal, this is a 499 pages total um, regulation. And well, the timeline is going to be that the FAA sent this to the Federal Register. So once it's published by the Federal Register, that's going to be sometime during January, then it's going to become official 60 days after that publication. So we're talking about it's going to be somewhere around March and maybe April if the Federal Register takes all January to publish it. But after that, manufacturers will have 18 months to um, the the manufacturers will have 18 months to do whatever they need to do to the drones to comply with the new remote ID rulings. I want to give a shout out to XGET that's commenting. Yes, I think we all have concerns about remote ID and about at least I think safety of the person that is flying the drone. I don't think that has been. Um, I don't think that's was very. Um, I don't think the FAA dig into those concerns a lot. Omar, yes, remote ID will be a reality. That's true. Final rule has been is out and will be published. Um, so yeah, like I was saying, manufacturers will have 18 months to adapt their drones to the new rulings. So that's gonna be sometime during September or October 2022, and consumers will have 30 months to comply. So that's gonna be around September and October 2023. The main problem here is that the drones that are on the market, they don't comply with the remote ID regulations. So they don't comply. So manufacturers will have to try to do a retrofit for these drones that are already on the market, because a lot of people, if you see the press release, the FAA got nearly 53,000 comments on the remote ID proposal. So yes, a lot of people have concerns about remote ID and about drones. So um yeah, Shilling Drone Perspective says here that I'm gonna sell my drone like new. Yeah, I don't think you need to sell your drone right away, but in the near future, I don't think your drone will be able to comply with remote ID, because the main problem that DJI has right now is that they have this export ban, and people cannot um, share technologies with DJI. So how this is going to play out, I don't know. Does DJI already know what was going to be in remote ID? So that is a fair question. So if they didn't already have that technology um, for research purposes um, already transferred to them, so it's going to be complicated for them to obtain that kind of technology, at least the blueprints necessary to do this retrofit, because we all know that DJI may be able to adapt current drones um, during with a update on the firmware, but we don't know if they will be able to do that. Yes, XGET, yes, will still have the FRIAs. These are going to be places that people will be able to fly their drones without the need to register for remote ID. But I mean, that's not going to be um, practical for a lot of people. The first thing that is that we don't know where are these places are gonna be. So I don't know how this is going to play out for people that already have drones that cannot be retrofit, or if at least DI is not able to do that. So if we go through the basic rules, um, we're gonna have so now we don't have that network requirement that the original proposal had. Now we only have broadcast, and we have a category of broadcast that is gonna be drones that already have them. drones manufactured with the broadcast capability already in the drone. So manufacturers will have to um, include into the drones pre-flight clearance process some kind of verification that it's indeed broadcasting. And the other category is broadcast models. So if your drone don't have the capability to do the broadcast, you are going to be able to install a module to your drone and be able to comply with the remote ID of the this new ruling for remote ID, at least the broadcast requirement. The other thing was people that build their own drones. So a lot of people do this for a hobby, and they love to build drones. So what's in it for them? So a lot of people fought this, and now they don't need to comply with remote ID, but they can only fly in specific places. So the FAA is going to designate places for people that don't have remote ID or cannot comply with remote ID, so they are able to um, fly their drones without complying with remote ID. So this is a 499 pages ruling, and so in the future, of course, I'm going to make more videos about this. But my impressions are that at least they got rid of the network-based or internet transmission requirements for third parties. But other than that, we don't have a much different ruling than the one that originally we were expecting. So we still have those privacy issue concerns. We still have safety issues for the drone pilot. So I don't know what's gonna happen in the future, but we have to get ready. So this is a reality. Um, Remote ID is here, and it's going to be an official ruling for the FAA for drones to have remote ID. Now, if we move on to flying over people, the FAA did something interesting. They divided drones into 5 categories for these flying over people requirements. So I think it's four categories. Yeah, it's 4 categories, and it's gonna be depending on the um, uh, on the amount of force that the rotors can can inflict, the damage that the rotors can inflict on a person. So that's going to be measured in pounds. So depending on the size and the speed of the rotors, your drone is going to be in one of these categories. And for all of these categories, you will need to be having remote ID. So yes. Um, for these flying over people, this is a major change. Of course, this is made for these new um, drone users that we're gonna have are gonna be delivery companies. So in order for a delivery company to be able to deliver, they will eventually need to fly over people. So this is made for them. Also, night fly is going to be the same. So now your drone will need to have, the lining, the lights, the anti-collision lights that are required for twilight flying. So these are the same type of anti-collision lights that are going to be required um, for night fly under these new rulings. But you still need to have remote ID. But all these rules are, the FAA is starting to flex some of these rules because we are going to have new drones in the market, or at least in the airspace, for all these delivery companies, and like Amazon or Walmart, maybe UPS will have drones. So yes, they eventually had to flex some of these rules. And well, it's not because they want to give us um, more liberties into our drone flying. Is because we have all these big companies pressuring the FAA in order for them to lower costs on their deliveries. And eventually we'll have also a flex on the flying beyond the visual line of sight requirement. And of course, this is where remote ID will also take place. But all these rules, I think, are not designed for us consumers. I think these regulations are more um, are created to aid all these new advances of companies that they want to use drones for deliveries. So this is basically the FAA telling, Walmart, Amazon, yes, we're going to allow you to do what you want to do, and we don't care about the people that have been flying drones for almost a decade, because you make money. And well, uh, I know I know it's harsh, and it's I don't think is very fair, but yeah, that's the FAA. It's They are going with the money, so money talks. A lot of these companies have um, lobbyists in Congress, and all these rules are gonna be made with them in mind. We don't have the money to be lobbying for laws or for regulations, so we are the scrapings. If there is something left for us, well, we're gonna have some of it. But these rules are not made for us. Drones are not, at least consumer drones, are not dangerous. People have been flying drones safely, and it's one of the most safest means of flying. And the FAA is going after us because all of these big companies are trying to further their business of delivering packages with drones. So for me, that's my reaction about these regulations. Let me know in the future comments, um, what do you want me to cover from these 500-page rules, at least on remote ID. I'm gonna do videos about this. We have 30 months to get ready for it, and it's not gonna be easy for us, but at least I think we can sort this out and try to make the best of remote ID, because yeah, it's a reality. So it's a reality right now, so I I don't know. I don't know what else I can tell you about this. All I can do right now is to thank you for watching this live stream with me, and see you next time. And thank you again.